Hey everybody, I see so many different people that are struggling actually to choose between Trading212 and Degiro. So today what we're gonna do actually is go and deep dive into these two apps, see which one is better for which things and which one will actually suit you better if you want to invest from Europe. I will go in order and actually present you 5 things that these apps have to offer and which one is doing better than the other one. We will start by speaking about the inventory of market products that these apps have to offer. So what kind of stocks can you buy, how many stocks can you buy, which kind of market products and all that stuff. Then we will speak about the fees. So will you have to pay fees on this, when you sell a stock, when you buy, when you withdraw, etc. Then we're going to speak about something really important, which is the security of these apps. Is it safe to invest into them and all that? We're going to go through this in just a second. Then we're going to speak about the user experience on these apps. So which one is the most easy to use between the two and which one has the most user-friendly interface. And finally, we'll speak about the customer service, which is really important when you use an app to invest your money. Also, don't forget to check the description down below in which you can find the timestamps. If you want to go to a specific part of the video, you can just do that. I won't be mad at you as long as you subscribe and like the video right now. Okay, so let's start with the inventory of market products. And actually both these apps are pretty good when it comes to market products, but one of them is actually better than the other one. Now let's start with Trading212. So what's cool about Trading212 is that you have access to more than 3,000 stocks and ETFs that you can purchase, and they're actually adding new stocks and new ETFs pretty much on a daily basis. But now the problem with Trading212 is that if you want to have access to other kind of market products such as, for example, cryptos, options, CFDs and all that, you actually need to open a second account that's called a CFD account, because on Trading212 you use the invest account that is like the free account pretty much, where you don't get a lot of fees and all that. We're going to speak about this in just a second. But when you use the invest account, you don't have access actually to all the market products. And if you want to have access to everything on the market, well, unfortunately, you're gonna have to pay to use the CFD account. That sucks, but actually you have access to 3,000 stocks in ETF, which, you know, is pretty good. Now, Degiro, on the other hand, has way more market products than Trading212. You have access to more than 5,000 ETFs that are available on Degiro. Now, the only problem that I have with Degiro about this is that they don't publicly give the information on how many stocks can you buy, which one can you buy, but they just say they have more than 5,000 ETFs available. But hey, if you come here to have the most choices available to you, well, Degiro gonna have more than Trading212. Now, as I spoke before about Trading212, you need a CFD account to have access to the rest of the market. Now, what is cool with Trading212 is that if you open this account, you have access to every single market product category that you can buy on the market. Well, you want cryptos, you have cryptos. You want stocks, you have them. ETFs, you're good too. You want options, you also got some. So you can buy anything on Trading212, which is really cool. Now, if you go to Degiro, on the other hand, they have way more market products, but they have less market categories. When you go on Degiro, you don't have access to Forex and CFDs. So if you guys only want to do Forex and CFDs, don't go on Degiro, go on Trading212. So when it comes to the market products on Trading212, you have access to stocks, ETF, bonds, and what is the last one already? Oh, and funds on the last one. But this is only for the invest account. Now, if you open a CFD account, on the other hand, you have access to cryptos, Forex, CFDs, options, but you're gonna have to pay every single time you do a trade on that. But you have access to all the market products. Now, it's the same thing for Degiro, except that you have only one type of account and you just don't have the CFD and the Forex. And now let's switch over to the fees, because fees, in my opinion, are like the most important factor that you need to take into consideration when choosing a broker, because you don't want to pay useless fees on anything. So every time you buy something, you're gonna have to pay a fee. When you sell also, and when you withdraw, we don't want that, right? So what's cool about this is that Trading212 offer a no commission broker, which means that you don't have to pay any fees on anything as long as you use the invest account. So you want to buy a stock, you want to buy ETF, bonds, or even funds, well, you can do that at any time, at any price, and you won't pay any fees on anything. So when you want to buy something, you don't pay anything. You want to sell it, you don't have to pay anything. When you withdraw, you don't have to pay anything, which is, in my opinion, the biggest strength of Trading212. There is no fees at all, at least on the invest account. Now, when it comes to the CFD account on Trading212, it's way different, and I'm actually not going to explain how it works right here, because you have to pay fees on everything you do, and it's different for every single situation. So if you guys don't want to have to pay any fees on Trading 2 and 2, just use the invest account. And if you want to do some cryptos and all that stuff, you can go on the CFD, but you're gonna have to pay fees every single time, and it will differ all the time. Now, Degiro, on the other hand, has some of the lowest fees on the market. That's what they say. Now, of course, they have the lowest fees, but you still have to pay fees every single time you do something with them. So here on the screen, you can see how much you're gonna have to pay for what you're actually buying with Degiro. And in the description of this video, there is something called Choose Your Broker, which is an online website where you can go and compare brokers between them. So go on the page of Degiro if you want to have every single fee that you're gonna have to pay depending on which stock market are you buying in and all that stuff. So that's kind of a bummer for Degiro, since they have so many different market products, you're gonna have to pay some fees on them. But hey, on the other hand, you get a bigger inventory of stocks, and we're actually gonna see right now with the security that Degiro is a bit different from Trading 2 and 2. So security. Both of these platforms are regulated by the FCA, which is the Financial Conduct Authority from the UK. Now, both of these platforms are also regulated by their own different kind of authority. Now, the second one that you're gonna find actually on Trading 2 and 2 that is regulating the broker is the FSC. The FSC stands for the Bulgarian Financial Supervision Commission, and that's actually, as you can hear in the name, from Bulgaria. And Degiro is also regulated by the AFM, which is the Dutch authority for financial markets. And these two brokers actually are both regulated by two regulators, which is great. You don't want to have only one. The more you have, the more regulated the broker can be. What would happen if one of these companies would go bust with your money inside of it? That's something that a lot of people are scared about, myself included, when I didn't know about these. So right now I'm gonna explain you how the security works on both of them and why it's not dangerous to invest your money into them. Okay, let's start with Degiro. So you have about 20,000 pounds of cash that are covered by Degiro, which means that if Degiro goes bust and you still have about 20,000 pounds into them, you are covered until this point. If you have more cash than 20,000 pounds in your account, you will not be covered and you can actually lose this money. Now be careful, because I told you it's 20,000 pounds of cash. If you have assets that you bought, these will be held by another company that Degiro, that's called Morgan Stanley. And what's cool about this is that if Degiro goes bust, you will still have your assets under the management of Morgan Stanley, which means that you'll actually be able to get them back if you ask them after Degiro goes bust. So don't worry if you have more than 20,000 pounds of investments in Degiro, because if they go bust or if they have any problems, Morgan Stanley will be holding onto your shares of anything and you can get them back. Now it's pretty much the same thing with Trading 2 and 2. You have about 20,000 pounds of cash that is covered. And now if you have some assets, so some investments that you made under Trading 2 and 2, these will be held by interactive brokers. But there's a little twist on Trading 2 and 2. If you are from the UK, and that's only for people living in the UK, you can have up to 85,000 pounds of cash in your account that will be covered by the FCA. So if you live in the UK, you really don't have to worry about having cash in your account. And it's the same thing with Morgan Stanley on Degiro. Interactive brokers will be holding onto your shares if Trading 2 and 2 goes bust. So don't worry about having more than 20,000 pounds of investments into Trading 2 and 2. Now let's speak about user experience, which is really important, especially if you're not really comfortable with using these apps. It's really easy for both of them. Both of these apps have some pretty user-friendly interfaces, and what's cool about it is that even if the apps are a little bit different from each other, they are really similar with the functions, the way it works, and how easy it is to actually maneuver into these apps. Now with both of these apps, you can actually use either a desktop version or a mobile version. So which one you prefer, you can have both on both of these apps. So if you are hesitating between Trading 2 and 2 and Degiro, you really don't have to when it comes to user friendliness, because both of these apps are well made, available for both PC and mobile, and actually is really easy to use. Now, when it comes to the customer service, both these apps have some pretty good customer service. Now, of course, if you go and watch right now the ratings of these apps, you're gonna see some pretty bad reviews. And you know why? It's because of the GameStop thing that happened. Most of these apps have to stop people from buying shares of GME, AMC, and all these hype stocks. And what happens is that people got really upset. So really don't pay attention to the rating of these apps, because these are really not representative of the quality of the apps. Now, apparently the Degiro customer service could be improved quite a bit. I see a lot of people that are upset with them because sometimes answers can take a little bit of a while to arrive, and sometimes they just don't get any answers. And I saw actually some people that were upset with Degiro for having bad customer service, but on the other hand, you see people that are really pleased with what's happening in the customer service. So it's kind of a middle ground between bad and good. So if you guys want to use Degiro, they may not have the best customer service, but they don't have the worst one. So really don't worry about it too much. Now when it comes to trading 2 and 2, the customer service is actually pretty good, I would say. You have different ways of reaching out from them. So you have emails, and you can also send them chat directly onto the app. Now, as I said before, with GME and everything that's going on right now, they are overbooked with all the people asking questions to them. So maybe don't expect an answer pretty quickly, which would be kind of the same thing with Degiro at the moment. But yeah, when I asked them questions, I got answers pretty quickly, either in the chat or even from the customer service when it comes to emails. So I would say trading 2 and 2 is a little bit superior when it comes to the customer service, but really the difference is not that big. So if you are hesitating between trading 2 and 2 and Degiro, I would really not consider the user friendliness of these apps, because it's pretty much all the same on both, and the customer service because it's pretty similar. Now, when it comes to my overall thoughts about these two apps, of course, it's really similar, especially when it comes to user friendliness and customer service. But also, I would say that if you guys want to invest into companies, into stocks, ETFs, really basic market stuff, and you don't want to pay any fees, trading 2 and 2 would be better for that. So maybe for long-term investing, trading 2 and 2 would be a little bit better. But now, if you guys want to have more options when it comes to what you want to buy onto these apps, Degiro is better. They have way more market products. You just don't have access to Forex and CFDs, which really isn't a big deal. I would never recommend investing into these because, well, you most likely will lose money on that. So for myself, I actually use trading 2 and 2, mostly because of the fees. I really don't want to pay fees on my broker. So that's mainly why, but it all comes down to personal preferences at the end of the day. Now, if this was helpful to you, let me know in the comments down below that you enjoyed it and click the like button. Go and watch this video about how to start investing, or this one that could help you out too. Really, thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys, hopefully if you subscribe, to the next one. Bye bye.